be able to see and hear us. Welcome, everyone. Yes,
Ooh.
I see our beautiful faces on Twitch. This is so exciting. Yes.
What
Welcome,
was good?
welcome, everyone, to the premiere of The Rising Hunger, our new campaign that we are doing here on the Venture Maidens channel. This is based on the module called The Empire of Ghouls by Kobold Press, which I've adapted to my own homebrew campaign setting, and according to all of our players' lines and veils to make sure that everyone has the best time possible. And with that being said, this is a horror podcast, horror stream. There are many very spooky. Oh yes. There are definitely gonna be some intense themes. Some that you can expect are cannibalization and me being just a terrible monster. I'm all about that body horror and gore. But yes, welcome, everyone. We're excited to be here. Kobold Press, if you're not familiar with them, is a wonderful third-party publisher for both D&D 5th Edition and Pathfinder. And so you can see that their Midgard setting is just full of wonderful classes and new character species, options that you can choose from, backgrounds, hundreds and hundreds of spells to choose from. So you should definitely go to Kobold Press and check out their vast array of works, of which Empire of Ghouls is one of them. And yeah, so without further ado, with all that being said, I am your storyteller this evening, Sage. I am a showrunner here on the Venture Maidens, as well as a player on our main campaign on bi-weekly Wednesdays, and I'm super excited to kick this off. Willy, go ahead, tell everyone about who you are in the role playing scene, what you do, and tell me something that you are really hoping to get out of this campaign.
All right, I'll do the spiel. Here we go. What's up? It's the Willy Boo at the Willy Boo. Fun posting online and having a good time. Yeah, I am here. I am a designer over at the DMs Guilds. I'm also a weird little meme poster on Twitter more often than not, either making fun of video games or trying to say that my video games are better. So, it happens. What I'm very excited about is an opportunity to get serious. I think we can pull this off.
I think we can. I believe. There's definitely always room for shit posting here on the Venture Maidens.
I was watching my tone. I use fun posting.
But yeah. So then, who is your character? What are they?
To the table, I present to you one LuVon Chromarak. They are a Dampier monk for the time being. And yes, they are pressured at the moment because those cravings are starting to settle in. We'll just say that.
Yes, and the Dampier are actually a species in the Underworld Player's Guide that are a playable option in this universe, which is very cool. And yes, so oh, and another thing that I should also say that is really cool is we're doing a giveaway. So if you stick around to halfway through, we'll kick off the giveaway, but we will be giving a hard copy of Empire of Ghouls so that you can terrorize your local playgroup too. So the giveaway will launch in the middle. We'll pick a winner at the end. Come on, webcam. Do the thing. You're trying. There we go.
It's making you dynamic.
Truly. And so, yeah, you'll have to hang out to the end in order to collect that. But yes. So where we are beginning with Dear LuVon is in the city of Helbron. This is a huge and bustling city that is perpetually cloaked under a blanket of fog as the city is cradled in the Valley of Mist and Shadow. As you've passed through the bustling market district of Helbron, you notice the correspondence board, and you saw a notice for a missing persons report and with a request for bringing this person, a person known as Penelope Briggs, home.
Penelope. All
Uh,
right.
you, you can see that this notice describes her as a 22-year-old woman, and by the illustration that's on the notice, she has sullen eyes and a smile that just wishes for a different tomorrow. And it directs you to the residence of her grandparents just over in, not too far away. The city is like a grid district, so you can navigate pretty easily. But to the residence in Lower Helbron. And as you weave your way through these very, very tight streets, all lined with cobblestone, you
Sorry.
hear.
I'm weaving. Don't worry.
As you weave through these tight streets and pass people with their baskets full of bread and their linens that they've had to hang out on lines and everything, and you approach a very modest stone cottage and you see that the newest thing about it is this wraparound porch. And as you step up the porch to knock on their door, what does LuVon look like? How's he feeling today?
So LuVon is this, I would say, probably about 6 foot tall man, kind of sickly, kind of grayish brown skin and yellow eyes, just sharp and direct. His hair is kind of slicked back, definitely gray, salt and pepper, and he's got himself a nice goatee. But he keeps himself nice and proper. He's got a nice black cape to keep him warm in the, I'm assuming, chilly sort of foggy area of this town. And it's almost like a noble looking sort of outfit. Lots of blacks, lots of reds. Very inconspicuous, of course. And of
Naturally.
course, he hides his rather long teeth behind a well-placed smile.
And so as you sort of hide your teeth behind your smile and you knock on the door, you see that an elderly gentleman. There we go. An elderly gentleman answers the door, and he's got this sort of wrinkled olive skin, the salt and pepper hair, and a very profound beard. And he takes a once over at you with almost a look of recognition. And he says, "Well, what can I do you for today, sir?"
I should be asking you that question. I saw a notice on the board in town. May I come in?
Oh, yes, of course. My name is Roger, and this here is my wife, Grace. Grace, could you, I guess, fetch us a kettle of water? We got a guest. And you see this very spry, elderly woman, probably in her 70s. They're both the very cute, very quaint human couple. And she goes, "Yes, of course, Roger. Give me a minute." And you hear panging of copper kettles and pans. And she begins stoking a fire and filling up water. And Roger will lead you into a kind of meager sitting area. And we'll be like, so you hear about trying to help us find Penelope then?
Yeah, yes. What can you tell me about Penelope?
Yeah, well, she's, after her parents died, we've been taking care of her. And, ever since she was a little girl, when she was knee high to a grasshopper. And, well, they always say, things change and your kids grow up and run away, but it's just not like her to leave and never come back. She was living here with us and she's keeping a steady job, but, just the past 3 days, she hasn't gone to work. She hasn't checked in with her friends. She didn't leave a note here for us, and, we're just, might concerned.
I see. And there's no clue, any sort of changes? perhaps.
And you see Grace swishes into the sitting room with a platter, a wooden platter with cups, with warmed cups and a kettle and some Earl Grey tea, and she says, "Well, you know, ever since she became a teenager, she stopped being happy. You know, she used to be such a young and boisterous and bright child, but then she just became so dull, and it's been very sad, you know. But recently, the thing that strikes me is quite odd was the past few weeks she's actually been quite chipper. We thought maybe that she had some new girlfriend, but she insisted that it wasn't that. And but I mean, you know, 19-year-olds, they just don't want to talk to you. So that's all we know. She collected her paycheck a week ago from where she works. She works at the Black Branch Brewery. I don't know if you've been there, but it's a very lovely place. That's where all of the college kids go and hang out.
Nice.
But yeah, no, it's quite strange.
Just suddenly became chipper. Huh.
Yeah, you know how teenagers are, real cagey, trying to keep things from you. I mean, you know, we don't like to intrude. We like to give her space. So, I mean, but I don't know if she kept a diary or anything. But I mean, we haven't really. I haven't been able to bear to go into her room and look.
Do you mind if I?
Oh, please do. And Roger will stand up and he'll lead you down a short hallway into a room that's just right off to the right. And you see, you know, very, very kind of modest building or modest room. You know, single bed with a wooden frame. You know, small desk and a chair with a lantern on top. Big, you know, chest at the foot of her bed where she, you know, you see socks and clothes peeking out from underneath the lid. He's like, well, you know, if you're welcome to take a look.
All right. So I would like to at least do a cursory glance for anything that would resemble a diary of sorts, or anything that might be a secret hiding spot for said notices, evidence, so to speak.
Yeah, definitely. If you want to go ahead and make a perception check.
Sure thing. That is a 16.
So looking around, the thing that definitely strikes you is under the bed or the chest. And then the desk also does have one drawer, sort of like at the bottom right, and those definitely reach out to you as the most conspicuous.
All right. Yeah, we're absolutely going to keep it simple and go for the drawer in the desk.
So as you begin to rifle through there, you see, you know, paycheck stubs and old time cards. You see some song lyrics that are scrawled out on damp and stained bar napkins. But no sense of a diary.
Mm-hmm. Close that. And then the next place we're going to look is underneath the bed.
Looking underneath the bed, you have to kind of like push aside some piles of clothes, of dirty laundry that was tucked away. And as you kind of grope around underneath the bed, you do indeed touch something that feels like a bound book.
All right. Yep, we're going to go for that.
And as you pull it out, it's a very, very modest, kind of just plain looking book. It's got, you know, nice red leather cover. And you can crack inside, and it does indeed. You see the name of Penelope Lane Briggs scrawled in very delicate cursive in the front cover. And yeah. And
a quick nod over to Roger. Yeah.
Oh, well, I mean, and you see that Grace comes over and she puts her hands up on his shoulder and like just kind of like gently like weaves herself around him, and as they look kind of just looking and holding with bated breath, as you continue your investigation.
Yep, I am looking through the book, looking for anything that might stand out to me in particular about Penelope.
And so as you start to flip through the pages, and you know that she has, looking at the years, you see that she has kept this for 5 years. So it's quite a compilation. It's not everyday journaling, but pretty frequently. And there begins to a point where she talks about how every other kid has zits and periods, and she's dealing with a phenomenon that you definitely resonate with, of food turning to ash in your mouth and just being constantly tired but also very energetic and just starving constantly.
I thought
And
so.
as the entries continue on, as they become more recent, you see that she does indeed mention a woman in particular, by the name of Luna, who has caught her eye. And she describes this Luna as this sort of red-headed vixen that is just so much older and wiser, and is just showing her a whole different side of the world that she never knew before, and that she feels like for the first time this might be the blessing of happiness that seems just on the horizon.
I picked up this notice because Penelope has a hunch, kind of reminded me of myself at her age. Just hungry for something, some sort of life. I don't want to waste too much time. Where did she work again?
Oh, down at the Black Branch Brewery. It's in Old Braun. It's not too far from the Arcane Collegian. You can, big huge stone building right in the center of town. You'll see it just located right next to there. That's where all the professors and alchemists and scholars, where they all go and wind down from their study and research and all that. She used to go there, but you know, uh, the other students there, they didn't take, they weren't very kind to her, and she ended up dropping out, which was a real shame. She had real potential, but she did seem to really fit in and like her job though. So we were happy when she found that.
It's good. You don't really find too many opportunities, so to speak. But I need to do a little bit more investigating.
Oh, of
But
course.
I'll absolutely keep you updated.
Yeah. Do you have a room anywhere in town? We will happily put you up. We don't. It's not the
Oh,
Ritz or anything, but
well, I do appreciate that. Yes, that would be lovely. Thank you.
oh, of course, of course.
But hopefully, I'm able to solve this for you before I waste too much time.
Okay. And they kind of wring their hands, and they put in holding each other's hands, and just kind of very dour, and just almost like zombies, just dawdle down the hallway back to the sitting room, and they kind of just vacantly stare out the window. And they're like, "All right, we'll be here just doing chores."
We'll get Penelope back
And
before you know it.
Roger will lead you back towards the front door, and we'll be like, "You're the first person who's come to help us, everyone around town. They just no, she's just I mean, she's just different.
Just a little different. And at that, I cock a quick smile.
Mm-hmm.
Half a sneer.
And he gives you a very, very knowing glance. These two, her grandparents, they definitely aren't Dhampir or vampires at all. They're definitely just regular humans, but they seem to be aware of Penelope's origins.
Okay. That's a bit of a relief. But I am taking the diary just in case.
Mm-hmm.
And then, briskly heading out the door and over to her place of work.
And as you meander through there, you pass a couple other correspondence boards along the way, and they are just full with other notices of missing people, of people of all different ages, of all different backgrounds, some noble, some, just working girls like Penelope. There is about 23 people that you can find notices for of who have all gone missing in the past about month.
This is and this is all just within this town in particular.
Yeah, and just in this city. This city it's a really large city. Probably about 1 million people live here.
I won't pay it too much more note, but I have a mental note of it as I continue heading down, looking for this red-headed vixen of sorts.
And as you, keep wandering through the streets, and you are just accosted by merchants who are trying to sell you goods of all these taverns who have all these like very gimmicky looks. Like you see the Rainforest Cafe pretty much.
No, please, I don't want to see the gorilla, thank you. No, I appreciate it kindly.
They're like, but if you
There's no time to waste.
If you buy the special edition cup, you can come back and
it looks like you froze on my end. How's it look over here?
Oh, you're a little bit
frozen,
there we go. But I can hear you. There we go. Okay.
All right.
And so as you wind your way over, with the Arcane Collegian, which is this huge stone, basically fortress, in the middle of the city. This city is very clearly built kind of in concentric rings around this building. It has huge soaring towers, very Gothic style architecture. This is clearly the oldest building that has been here, probably easily a millennia old. And as that is your kind of guiding post, you see just not too far, probably like 500 feet off of it, you see the very wonderful Black Branch Brewery, which has this very understated, simple sign, Helvetica font, with the with just the image of a branch in silhouette. And you see that it's not open. It's not open yet, but you see that there are people who are taking out the rugs and beating them, emptying out and cleaning stuff in the back, getting ready for service in the afternoon of serving people.
All right, so it's still sort of the morning yet, and it's going to probably be a little bit before they open then.
Yeah.
All right, so why don't we start heckling one of these individuals who are trying to just do their job in peace.
And so as you start to approach, you see towards the back that there is this elven man with this very, very tan skin, and has this huge, you can see peeking out from underneath his shirt, you can see the tattoo of a kraken, and you see its kind of mouth is just like reaching over his shoulder, with his hair swept back into a tight top knot. And as you start to approach, and he kind of looks over at you, tosses out a bucket of water, and goes, "Hey.
How are you?"
Oh, got a million things to do. Lots of tasks to complete before we open, but we open at 4 p.m. if you're looking to get a drink.
Oh, I'm quite fine on drinks, thank you. I was actually very much curious about one of the people who work here.
Oh, uh, and he kind of scratches the back of his neck with his hand and goes, "Are you here about Penelope? About Penny?"
Penny. Huh. So you already know that there's a bit of a commotion about her, so to speak.
Yeah, she was supposed to come in for a shift yesterday, but she hasn't, and I went to go, which is really unusual. She comes into work every day as scheduled, but so I was worried. I popped over to her house where she lives with her folks, and they said that they hadn't seen her for a few days either, which concerning to say the least.
Well, I went over and talked to her folks, and well, let me ask you this: do you know about one Luna, red-headed individual?
Redhead Luna. Hmm. You know, kind of rings a bell. I mostly do all the back of house work, but you know, Penny's really near and dear to us. She was really like a niece, and why don't you come in?
Oh, I appreciate that.
My partner, he does all the front of house work, and so he's much more familiar with our regulars. And he'll lead you in through a big steel door that leads to a walk-in freezer, and you see that there are lots of cured meats that are hanging up and being stored. You also see cask upon cask upon cask of wine and distilled potato beverages and bourbon, and it's just a vast array of very, very high end wines and liquors. And he leads you through a set of those set of like curtains into the back of the kitchen, and he pokes his head around. You see that there are lots of people who are chopping and preparing, doing dishes, and he motions to another dark-skinned elven man, and he goes, "Oh, darling, there's someone here who is asking about Penny." And you see he comes over and he approaches you, and oh man, I wrote down their name somewhere. And so yeah, and he man. Okay, anyway, so yeah, and he comes over and he goes, "Hi, nice to meet you. Name's Alex.
Alex, it's a pleasure. My name is LuVon. I'm here looking into Penny's sort of situation. And I was wondering if you can tell me about one red-headed Luna."
And he looks very thoughtfully for a moment as he's kind of like mulling over like faces in his mind, and he goes, "Redhead, yes. There was a woman who's come in recently. She's been I got to talking to her one evening. She's been chatting up all of the college kids who typically come in for to have a after class study session with a drink, and yeah, she said she moved in about 6 months ago. Is a seamstress. She's got like a little shop over in the market district called Sew Buttons, I believe. And yeah, she's perfectly nice, a little quiet, but I mean, she's not my type. As he looks over to his partner, he goes, "Definitely a stunning woman if that's what you're into."
So buttons. But she's talking to a bunch of college kids.
Yeah, she always came in with a couple of thick books to read, likes vintage Merlots. Real wine aficionado. I was really quite impressed by her knowledge.
I don't know much about wine myself. It's all the same to me, honestly.
Well, you got to come in for a drink. Well, I'll give you a if you pick up anything on Penny, I certainly owe you a flight.
Well, I appreciate the offer, but time is of the essence. Um, where'd you say Luna's shop was?
Oh yeah, it's over. You can't miss it. It's over in the Market District. If you just go like 3 circles in, and then it's got a real cute little dainty little sign, uh, and then he'll give you some general directions so you can head over there.
Excellent. Well, I'm trying to tip my hat. Excuse me. I'll leave you to your preparation. It seems like you're going to have a pretty wild crowd tonight, especially if you're going to be short-staffed.
Well, we that's the life for you. And here, let me lead you out the front so you don't have to go walking through our wet mats and everything, and
I appreciate that.
and he'll unlock the door for you and lead you outside. You can see that it's a very very large tap room. You see that there is a full huge oak bar that has a bunch of taps that are connected to magically chilled wines and beers, and you see that there is a huge hearth that is the sort of central focus of this place, with all these benches and long tables surrounding it. It's very very homey and comfortable, with like very kind of a rustic feel to it.
Warm. I would like to visit this place, but let's solve our current issue, shall we?
Mm-hmm. And so as he leads you out, and you can begin making your way over there if you so choose.
Yeah. I mean, as I'm heading through town, it seems like everyone else is, for the most part, normal, going about their day. It doesn't seem like there's a dearth of people, right?
I mean, yeah, with with 23 out of a population of roughly a million is noticeable for those people who are connected to them, but it definitely doesn't seem noticed overall, or particularly felt by the city as a whole. You see that people. Why don't you make an insight check? See what you can pick up the vibe around town.
Ooh, that is good. How insightful are you? Oh, very insightful. That is a dirty 20.
Nice. And so you can see that people, as you're wandering through, this is sort of through the district of Olbron, which is mostly scholars and people with wizards and with their glasses and their portfolios and their books. But as you head back towards the market district, where you get more into sort of the everyday working class folks, people seem much more anxious. They definitely seemed a little bit more distressed, just like there's no real joy in going about their daily tasks. It's just everyone seems a little bit uneasy.
Mm. That just makes me easy. Wonderful. So yeah, you can absolutely tell that LuVon is straightening his posture a little bit, just trying to reclaim himself as he continues forward.
And as you, what is out of curiosity, what is your passive perception?
The passive perception of one LuVon Chromarak is 13.
And so as you're going downtown, as you're walking through the market district, and being accosted again with people who are trying to lure you into their very gimmicky bars and
Please,
restaurants, and trying to sell
no
you
monkeys.
good, trying to sell you foreign exotic goods from untold lands, and you have the feeling for just a split second that you're being watched, like you've been noticed, like eyes are on you. But as you kind of like straighten up and pull yourself together, you look around and you don't catch sight of anyone looking. I mean, people. I mean, not more than what you're usually probably accustomed to.
Of course. Shoot them a quick glare. But if I'm not really noticing anyone in particular that is watching me right now, um, I keep it inconspicuous for the time being. I'm on alert, but I'm not gonna draw any more attention to myself.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, with a much more direct kind of attitude as you head your way over to there, and you see that it's a small shop. It's got nice glass windows and with a lot of sunlight to pour through. And you see it's like a big pink button with the needle going through it and the thread says "sew buttons." It's very, very, very cute. And you see at the back is this very kind of modest-looking brown-haired woman who is working on a set of dolls towards the back of the shop as she's sitting up in her like little sewing station with reams of fabric just lining the walls, just floor to ceiling. And lots of patterns organized into folders.
Hmm. Hello there. My name is LuVon, and I'm wondering, does one Luna work here?
Oh yes, that's my boss. She's out of town actually currently. She's looking into bringing the new shipment of fabrics in. She should be in tomorrow, I believe. Was there something that I could help you with?
I was wondering if you want to tell me a little bit more about your boss, so to speak. Do you like working for Luna?
Oh, I mean, she's very nice. It's a new shop. It's only opened up, I think maybe about 6 months ago, and that's right about when I got hired. Yeah, I'm the head seamstress here. Aside from Luna, of course. I do mainly alterations on for men's clothes. So if you need a suit,
Oh,
I could certainly tailor one for you. But yeah, she's quiet, kind of reserved, not a real chatty character. She she likes to, after work, after we close up shop, I know she likes to go and hang out at the brewery over in Old Braun that's owned by the nice elfin couple. But I mean, she reads a lot. Yeah.
interesting that you say that she's reserved, where I hear when she goes over to the tavern, she's actually talking to a bunch of kids, in fact.
Oh, well, I don't, after you have a few drinks, I'm certainly much chattier than normal, but she's looking a little bit nervous. She looks a little flustered.
So, after chatting for a minute, a bit of my
Hmm.
charm starts to kind of set in, so to
Oh,
speak.
yeah. And
Um,
she's leaning on the table, just like enraptured in like everything you say.
excellent. But I would have advantage on my next charisma ability check against this individual. But before
Very
we get
cool.
to that point, so are you telling me that Luna doesn't bring people around here?
Um, she takes a good hard think, and she goes, you not, I mean, not socially. The the only person that I've seen is her brother. He comes by. He helps with some errands and picking up of supplies and stuff for the store. Yeah, real nice, very very charming. But yeah, I think they must be twins because they look. I mean, obviously not identical because whatever. But um, yeah, he's really the only one that I've seen.
And you're still not sure where Luna is right now? As LuVon's questioning becomes a little bit more sort of pointed and direct. Pleasantries are starting to disappear.
And she goes, she is over in the next city over outside of the forest called Breckstad. They have a big dye mill there where she goes and she picks up samples of fabrics.
LuVon straightens his back, looks over to the side, then looks back. You know, a number of people have been going missing in the city lately.
It's dreadful. I just, I just think about how when I walk home, if I could just end up as one of those people. She kind of chews on her finger a little bit.
It seems like you might know what's going on there.
Well, I don't know anything for sure, but it's kind of a reoccurring thing in this city. I mean, every once in a while, new cults will pop up. Because who knows what they're studying there in that Arcane Collegian? Because they have just free run of the place. Like, they don't have to abide by Oberheid's laws at all. So I know that they study and she kind of lowers her voice and she like scoots up to the like really close up to the counter and they study necromancy there, and sometimes those death cults will spring up. And so I've heard that and the cartways underneath the city are just rampant with alleys and tunnels and catacombs for all kinds of people to just hide out and do gods only know what nefarious activities. And I think probably I bet the people at the school are experimenting on people. That's my guess.
So I want to insight to see how much she's deflecting right now.
For sure.
Okay. And the roll that I got was a nice 18.
Pretty good. So you can see that the vibe that you get is that this is like the town gossip. That this is sort of it doesn't seem like this is based in any sort of truth, but it's what people are talking about.
But is she using this in order to deflect from what's going on, or?
She doesn't display any like signs of deception. She seems to be pretty straightforward with this.
Okay. At that, I think LuVon will probably sort of deflate a little bit, stop being so on edge, so to speak. You call it the Arcane Collective?
The Arcane Collegian. It's the big stone building in the middle of the town. Like, big university for wizards. So, I don't know. I don't do that stuff. I just make suits.
That's fair. And I will have to actually come to you at some point. My rags are getting a little bit ragged. But is there... I'm sorry. Is there any place that Luna might have talked about? In passing, perhaps, that you might have heard her mention?
You know, she when we were closing up when I was closing up shop one night, when it was her day off, and she popped in real quick right as I was closing up, and she was dressed like ball gown, mask, like done to the nines. And when I asked her where she was going, this is probably about a week ago, she said that she was going to some sort of gala for the Red Goddess, and it was some sort of like high society party, and it just struck me as odd, cause she dresses nice, and if she comes for money, why does she just have a little shop here downtown?
Sometimes you want to get away from that way of life, I'm sure.
Yeah, but she didn't say where the party was, which led me to believe definitely a little bit suspicious. But I've heard that nobles sometimes like to throw parties in the underground caverns, but in like it's a real speakeasy kind of situation. You gotta find the secret door. She just kind of hand waves.
Well,
No one ever invited me.
that's a shame because you're quite delightful.
Well,
But I don't want to waste any more of your time. Um, I'll certainly be looking into one of these parties, and if I get the knowing how of getting in, I might pass along the notes to you.
well, uh, I have been told I brush up real nice. And she kind of smirks and very coyly looks at you from the corner of her eye.
All right, well, I must say farewell for now. And then immediately throws the cape and turns around and heads out with a nice flourish, really just making an impact on this poor individual.
She just like you get like after you hear like the bell jingle from the door opening, and you just hear it with after the swoosh of your cape, and you hear a suppressed but still audible like sigh, like dreamy sigh. She waves meagerly at you as you sweep out of the shop.
So, um, in my past, at least, LuVon and his father definitely served nobles, so to speak, with their cooking. So I'm wondering if there's anything in my own history I might be able to recall about any sort of speakeasy practices or,
Yeah, go ahead and make
know-how.
a history check with advantage.
Ooh, thank you, thank you. Oh, beautiful. What do we got? History. That would be a 16.
So you definitely recall that actually about 300 years ago, the cartways were a huge feature of Helbron. It started off as first people just being like, oh, we can use all these underground tunnels which were left from some civilization from thousands of years ago that they've just kind of they're like former mine shafts. And then whoever lived here like 2,000 years ago when they left it abandoned, uh, the cartways began as sort of people just using it for extra storage room, for underground gardening and cultivating and storing of casks of wine and beer. But then one noble in particular started throwing huge parties that were underground in these cartways and creating elaborate carriage systems to cart people between all of these noble houses. And it just became to this point where the nobles basically lived exclusively underground as they were just in the throes of constant revelry and just partying until the working class threw a revolt because they're like, guys, this isn't cool. And there was actually what put the kibosh on it was that there was an outbreak of a contagious zombie affecting disease of all the nobles because they were underground, which was mixing with the fluids from sewers and everything, and so there was a zombie outbreak, and so there was a working class revolt to be like, stop doing this, you're affecting us all. And so from that point, they've mostly been shut off, but, people always find, uncover old entrances or make new ones into these tunnel systems.
Certainly makes sense to me. In that case, my first impulse is to find a way underground.
All right. So how would LuVon go about doing that? Would he go and try and sweet talk people, or was he just like trying to like really hard investigate, or how's he gonna go about that?
There isn't an immediate sort of like sewer hole, so to speak.
Right. Yeah.
Then yeah, we would probably end up heading into the thick of the marketplace, finding the ritziest individual. Definitely shaking down people for a little bit more information discreetly, because there are still people watching at this point. Mm-hmm. So without really like ducking around and making an obvious scene of what I'm trying to do, absolutely trying to do some investigating.
Very cool. And actually, since we're at like our halfway point, I'm gonna go ahead and launch our giveaway. Woot woot. All right, let me pull that up. All right, so if you all want a copy of this lovely book, thank you, Kobold Press, for giving us away. You have to be in the U.S. or Canada, I'm sorry, for a physical copy. But next week we'll be giving away a digital one in which anyone can enter. But go ahead and it is open, and then the entry word is !hungry, all lowercase, case sensitive, does matter. But yes, go ahead and get those entries in. And so as you're going around trying to find the ritziest individual, asking discreetly, why don't you give me a persuasion?
Ooh. Now, am I sweet talking them ahead of time, perhaps? Kind of like setting the scene, so to speak, before my charms kind of kick in?
Yeah. Definitely.
Excellent.
Get that advantage.
Yeah. Oh, that was absolutely necessary. Good. That would be 117.
And so as you end up finding this individual who he's a middle-aged human man. He's got this very, salt and pepper hair. He's wearing a very nice charcoal gray suit that complements his sort of copper complexion. He definitely looks like, the guy to talk to. But as you, start, what is it, how do you breach this conversation?
I would probably approach and basically just say, "Hey, I like your sense of style. That's actually something I try to model myself around, and try to get him into a little bit of a spiel before turning on the charms."
Mm-hmm. And he straightens his cravat and he goes, a fellow appreciator of the finer things. And he gives a tip of his fedora at you. Goes, I'm, out on running some errands for my daughter's birthday party. I don't recognize you. Are you new in town, or?
I'm a bit of ways, so to speak. But no, I'm here. It's a fine day, of course. Trying to find individuals such as yourself. Just sort of a way to acquaint myself with finer parts of the city.
Oh yes, of course. Well, I definitely I do appreciate that. You know, we all try to find our kin whenever we find ourselves in a new place or in a new setting. But you strike me as someone who can have a good time, and he reaches into the breast pocket of his coat and he flicks to you with his front and middle finger a business card, if you will, that is printed on a red cardstock with black embossed font. And it says, "The Temple of Ecstasies" across it.
Oh, well, that certainly seems like a place I'd want to visit. Are you going to be going there anytime soon?
Uh, Actually, yes, the next gathering will be this evening. Of course, dress in your finest, and it is customary to wear a mask. You know, however, but black tie, of course. And if you head to uh, if you go behind the in the market part of town, the sew button shop in the back, there's a wall there. There's a secret door that'll lead you into the part of the cartways where the gala will be hosted.
Oh,
Sure, a capable individual as yourself will be able to figure out the secret knock, as it were.
the secret knock.
Yeah, you know, I don't want to take all the fun out for you because I'm sure you can appreciate a man of your taste enjoys a good chase from time to time.
Oh, I certainly love a good chase. Well, then, I will certainly see you there tonight, then,
Yes, 10 p.m.
10 p.m. And with that, a bow and a wink, and we are heading right back to that shop.
Yeah. About face. Yeah, and as you directly pass through there, you see that there is a sign hanging in the window that says "Away on lunch, back in 30 minutes," with a nice cursive scrawl. And you see that the shop is locked up, and you can make your way around to the back.
Okay, well, just I think before I do so, if you allow me, I'm interested to figure out at least how many eyes might be watching me at this given moment.
Yeah, go ahead and make a perception check.
Sure thing. Ooh, 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 ooh. We're doing very well tonight. Much better than usual. So that is an 18.
So as you take a look around, it's in the back alley. You see most people are just like tossing out buckets of water, cleaning various things. They seem to be pretty preoccupied with their tasks. But for just a second, you feel like you catch the glimpse of a masked individual wearing a black hood who just very quickly disappears behind uh, down into an alley.
That's our target. So, yep. Not rushing, so to speak. It is a nice meander, but time is of the essence, of course, as we head over to that alley.
And you see this cloaked figure is just sweeping effortlessly down this alley, and you see that it ends in a about a 15-foot tall stone wall that leads up to like the next story of the building over, and he effortlessly jumps and pulls himself up onto the second story of this building with a sort of supernatural grace.
Well, excellent. We can certainly follow suit. I don't doubt my abilities one bit.
All right, give me an athletics check to
Athletics.
run, jump, and pull yourself up.
Perfect. That is one. It's not a 1. It is a 16.
Oh yeah, and you just easily you you get into the perfect rhythm of your jog, take that leap, launch yourself up, and you see that he looks surprised as this figure turns to face you and lets out the small, like, mouth slightly agape and begins to start bolting across the rooftops of these buildings. And
Do I have an opportunity to shout wait or no?
Yes. He does not heed your warning.
Fair. All right. I won't show them this card or anything and be all like, hey, excuse me. But yeah, we'll make chase for now.
All right, let's go ahead and roll some initiative as we get into this little chase scene.
Here we go. And that is plus. That is a 21.
Woo! All right, so you definitely have the first move. So with chase mechanics generally there will be a point where I know that you will either catch your prey, or that they will escape from your grasp. So you can take all of your regular actions as normal. The primary one usually being the dash action, and you can use the dash action a number of times equal to your Constitution modifier before you start getting tired.
Excellent. Very good. So this might be a little bit horrifying, but LuVon is absolutely dashing. He's absolutely dashing. But aside the point, you can see him kind of like holding on to his cape, not letting it go too far, kind of keeping an upright position while moving supernaturally fast as his dash. It seems very casual. But yes, he has taken the dash action.
All right. So yeah, and what is your movement speed?
My movement speed is 30 feet.
All right. And then, all right, so you'll be able to move 60 feet. And then go ahead and make a d20 roll to see if you suffer a complication at the end of your turn.
We've got 118.
And so as you begin running towards this individual, and you feel so confident in your stride as you just effortlessly begin to catch up to him, you don't notice the sudden change in ground as the building sort of dips off to the one below it, and your step sort of kind of catches you, and you just kind of tumble forward a little bit, and and so you just, it's embarrassing. You fall flat on your face, but you do manage to move up your 60 feet, but he definitely seems to take this moment and begin running, even taking advantage of this moment and running ever forward. And you see he makes a... Let's see. Oh, dear. A running leap towards the next building as there's this, like, 10-foot gap between the next two buildings. And he jumps too soon. And you see that he just furiously is grabbing for clotheslines and fire escapes, and just drops onto the ground below him in the alleyway below him.
Why did I fall?
And you see he has to take a moment to pick himself up and dust himself off and make sure that nothing's broken. And then we'll get back to your turn. You see him in sight, but you know that he is about 20 feet below you at this point.
Yeah, we're absolutely going to take a leap down there. Maybe not necessarily on top of him, but try to get at least in front of him with my own leap. I haven't like broken skin yet with my beefing it, right?
No, it's
Okay.
just mostly your pride. Your suit's a little dusty.
Mm,
Gotta.
fine. And we're going in for the jump.
All right. Give me. How do you think that he weathers this? Does he like tuck and roll? Does he just brute force superhero jump down onto the ground?
I would say that it is sort of, it almost kind of looks like a dive, but with a quick roll before landing on his feet.
Yeah, give me an acrobatics. See how
There
cool
it
this
is.
is.
That's what I want. Oh, very, 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 very good, especially with a
Oh, okay.
14.
Oh, very nice. Yeah, and so you do exactly just like almost like you hear the of a bird as you just throw yourself off this effortlessly off to this building, tuck and roll, of course, sheltering your neck, and you pop up right as he is like sort of still staggering to his feet a little bit.
Excuse me.
And he will see steps up and he gives a quarter turn towards you. What business do you have with me?
I take out the card.
Oh, I apologize then.
Sorry for scaring you.
We have many watchful eye on us, and but of course, as a invitee, and he gives a sweeping bow with his own cloak. Boris, and you might
Boris.
be.
LuVon Chromarak.
A pleasure.
The pleasure's mine. Both covered in dust and debris.
Yeah, looking each other over like.
I was told I needed a knock, and you seem like someone who knows their knocks.
I'm from what you might call School of Hard Knocks. Huh? As he raises an eyebrow. Um, yes, I had noticed you, poking around town. And, just wanted to ensure that you had proper intentions. But if someone invites you, well, please, right this way. And he will begin leading you down through just a labyrinth of alleyways in this sort of, even though the city is very set up in this very kind of organized fashion, it's still sort of this dizzying array of like left turn, right turn, left turn, as almost as if he's doing it on purpose to try and throw you off track.
I mean, all eyes are on him right now, so Boris is not leaving my sight.
And so eventually he leads you into the what's called Upper Helbron, where all of the sort of the large manor houses of the noble families are, where they're the of where the city hall and sort of public works buildings are. And he leads you to the back of the library. And you see that as you take in the back of this very huge brick building, you see that there is an array of 16 holes of like four here, four on the top, and you see that there are
Okay.
all arranged. And
All
so
right.
he says, this is entrance we use to enter into the space. and he reaches down, and all these holes, they're all covered in like spider webs, and he reaches into the one that is over in the fourth column, third one down, and plunges his arm into this hole, which easily fits his forearm, and you hear a mechanism push, and you see just to the right of this array, this panel of brick slides open and leads to below the city. Of course, party is not open yet. We are still making preparation, but this is where you can expect to find.
Well, I've certainly made note of that. Will I see you in attendance there, Boris?
I'm not the party guy. I like to keep an eye from afar to make sure that no funny business goes down.
And yet you're a very funny man, Boris.
Oh, thank you. I am blessed with gift of humor, so I have been told.
Yeah. So this is in a completely different district from the Sew Button shop. All right.
Yeah, this is over up in the northern part of town, where the market district is sort of in the bottom half, the middle bottom half of southern part of town, and that's right above all of the sort of residential, working class family homes where you had met Penny's family.
Excellent. Yeah. At this point, I wonder if they're done with lunch over at the seamstress's place. We've got a party to get ready for.
Oh yeah, and so he will make a tap with his gloves, and you see that this brick panel slides closed, and gives it a push to make sure, and he gives a tip of his top of his cloak to you, and begins whistling and walking away.
Is it a notable whistle, or is it just sort of an inconspicuous whistle?
Oh, it's very notable. Like the Kill Bill whistle.
Oh, all right. Excellent.
And so you can make your way back on over to Sew Buttons, and you do see that the individual, the very plain brown-haired lady, she is just approaching with her keys in hand, and she's got a dumpling, a pierogi shoved half into her face, and she's just fiddling, trying to open the door.
Oh. Let me help you with that.
And as you you kind of step out of from nowhere, she's like, ah! You see she bites, and it the other half that was sticking out of her mouth falls into the ground. She's like, I'm so sorry.
Yeah, I'm so sorry. Oh.
Don't blame me. Oh my god.
The wasted food.
I've got mustard on my dress. This is so embarrassing.
Oh, you're fine, but oh dear.
Just 1 second. And she turns away from you very purposefully, opens the door into the shop and just throws her stuff onto the counter. It's so looking casual, totally casually. You're back.
Found our way into the party.
Oh wow, you're so fast. You're just so wow.
I work with the time that I have. Although I am a bit worried. This might be a bit dangerous.
Oh.
Is that something that you're interested in?
Well, I've made my share of trouble when I was a younger lady. Yeah, totally.
I feel really bad.
She smooths out her eyebrows and wipes the mustard off of her dress.
No, listen. This is a formal affair, masks, black ties, what have you. And I'd absolutely love to get some help in that department, so to speak. But as I offer an invite to you, as I did before, I am a bit worried about your life.
Oh, alive?
Your life. I'm not too sure what we could expect down there.
Oh, she kind of shrugs and throws her hands up. That is so sweet of you to worry. You look like a. She motions with her hand at like all of you, and she's a capable individual. I am not the fighting sort, and like I said earlier, not the magic sort. But I keep a can of of pepper spray and a pocket knife with me. I can make use of.
LuVon feels bad. So here's what we're gonna do. Um, how about this? Help me with a rush order for tonight. Allow me to go there first. I want to check out the place and make sure that it is, well, definitely manageable. And I will
Sure.
absolutely take you as a date next time to the next sort of shindig down there.
Oh, oh yeah. I definitely appreciate that. So, wow, just so gentlemanly. Just such consideration that you give for a lady that you just met. Yeah, of course. Anything you want.
Well, I certainly do appreciate that. It is a bit of a toothy smile, just sort of like unexpectedly. Um,
Oh.
but
And she's just like, you see that she's like trying to maintain composure of herself, like just really just struggling. But she's like, so and she like immediately like turns around and she just like throws out a measuring tape. She's like, first things first, let's get your measurements. Tell me what you want. What colors do you like? Ooh, are we thinking like black? Are we thinking smoky gray? Do you want to do and she will. So what is the suit that you commissioned this woman to make?
I think I would probably reference the man who gave me this card suit a little bit. So that nice sort of smoky gray, maybe some gold embellishments. Let's go in that direction.
Ooh, I
Really
dig
make
it.
something that's striking that matches LuVon's eyes.
I dig it. What color are LuVon's eyes?
They are sharp yellow. Um,
Mm-hmm.
the best way I would describe it is like a tiger in a corner, if he were to stare at you.
Love it. And so, yes, and she will fuss over you, take all of your measurements, and she'll show you a dozen samples of fabric, and she'll write down, all of your requests and everything. She'll be like, okay. Thankfully, it's been kind of a slow week, so I should have it done. What time do you need it by?
Seems like the party's getting started at 10.
Okay, okay, okay. That's manageable. I got this. I can do this. Of course.
Let's see, hold on a second. I have money. I am going to. Oh, there we go. Yeah, I am absolutely dropping 12 gold. Yes, I have that. I'm dropping 12 gold on this individual. Oh, and I didn't get your name.
That's fine. I don't know if I got yours either. I'm Morgana. It's nice to meet you.
Oh, Morgana. And LuVon takes her hand. I am LuVon. and it is my absolute pleasure.
She's like, and that like
Really,
visibly melting like schoolgirl kind of like so good
yeah,
to meet you.
the pleasure is all mine.
And she will be like, okay, well you better leave so I can work on this because it's gonna be perfect. And yeah.
I have the utmost faith in you. Thank you kindly, Morgana.
And she's like, okay, yeah. And then she immediately, like, gets to work and pulling out bits of fabric and taking the chalk and measuring things and pulling out patterns and is very, very focused. And so, what would you like to do? How would you like to spend your next, about, it's about like midday, so about the next, half of your day?
Um, hmm. I mean, at this point, it's probably going to be a lot of inconspicuous skulking. Just sort of looking for any other Boris-like individuals who might be watching, so to speak. Because I don't believe I'm going to have any other pieces of information we'll be able to gather in time.
Very cool. And with your inconspicuous sulking,
Oh, skulking, excuse me.
skulking, that's, had the word in my mind. Mr. Consonant. Your inconspicuous skulking. You notice every once in a while, a couple hours go past, and you hear the rattling of trash cans coming from behind an alleyway. Something bigger than a rat or a raccoon.
Is there any sort of trail I might be able to pursue? Or is it just something I might have to leave alone until later?
As you sort of kind of like poke your head, to get a sense of what's going down and looking for any distinctive tracks, the thing that you notice is the smell. It smells like rotting flesh coming from down toward, and it gets stronger towards the end of this alleyway.
We are going to take a stroll down an inconspicuous alleyway, shall we?
Oh yes, inconspicuously skulking down an inconspicuous alleyway. As you sort of take a look off to the left and to the right, you see the scrabbling of the gray flesh of a humanoid that just has knocked over all of these trash cans and is scurried into this dug out hole inside this into this building. And you see this gray hand with these long yellow nails just reach out into the pile of refuse and pulls a humanoid arm, into this like little hovel, and you hear like the scurrying of like a creature on like four legs, almost burrowing into the ground.
Have I seen such an arm of such a creature before?
Make a nature check or Arcana, whichever one.
Ooh. Oh, that is not great. I am going for a 9.
Undead thing. You know that undead things after undead beings generally have a sort of gray sallowy skin, so you're not sure without seeing the whole being. It's probably undead, but you're not sure what kind.
Could be manageable, could be absolutely unmanageable. Let's find out. I'm going to take a quick peek into this hovel.
And as you do so, it is pitch. Do you have dark? You probably have dark vision.
I believe I do. Yes. Yep.
Every bloody species in D&D has dark vision.
Yeah.
And so, but even still, I mean, because with the daylight, even though it's diffused with this, through the cloud cover, as you're looking through this just black hovel, and suddenly you see these red eyes just blink open, and this hand with these yellow nails just lashes out towards you and goes to grab you.
What do I have to make to get out of the way of that?
We're gonna roll some initiative.
It. Oh, perfect. Here we go. All right. How's a 5 gonna do me?
Ooh boy, let's see how they do. Oh, they will get to go first, surprisingly. You see this hand just lash out and immediately just goes for your collar and begins to try and drag you in. And so we will make an opposed grapple check.
Excellent. Oh, very good, very good, very good. And I can use Dex or Strength?
Correct.
All right, cool. So that will be a 20, dirty 20.
And so, and as you kind of bob your head and pull away, as you pull through the opposite way of their grasp, and you see it's still just reaching its hand, just furiously trying to get any purchase on your body, but you have managed to get out. And you hear hissing and sort of just and chittering noises, as if maybe there's coming somewhere from underneath this building. Like there might be more of them.
Can I make note of this building and leave?
Yes, you certainly may. Nope.
Is it just some odd building, nothing of particular note?
You see it's just like a butcher shop, and then
oh, lovely.
And so it's one of those right next to like one of those pull open underground cellars. You see that there is this hole in the brick that's been tunneled down into the earth, and you see this red set of eyes that are just furiously sniveling at you.
I think that before I absolutely book it from the situation, I will shout out, "You have a name?" That's all I need. All I know. Disengage. Out.
Beautiful. And so the rest of your inconspicuous skulking goes without incident. But those eyes, they kind of have been burned into your memory a little bit. Even when you blink, they you still feel them on you. And you get that feeling where it's like when you walk through a cobweb, and no matter what you do, you're just like, ugh.
I mean, it goes without saying, they looked hungry.
Indeed.
And I know that failing well.
And so, time passes, and eventually you see, as night falls and the street lamps become illuminated, the shops of the lights and sew buttons are still on, and you see that Morgana is busy steaming your suit to a clean, wrinkle-free state, and has it hanging up and ready for you.
Excellent. It's evening. I feel a lot more chipper, so to speak. Mm-hmm. It's certainly a lot more comfortable as I head back over into the store. Hello, Morgana. How goes
Okay.
it? Oh,
Okay. So, all right, we have it. It's ready. It's here. You see, to go with the wonderful yellow of your eyes, I did a little bit of a complimentary of like little red flourishes. You seem like you would like red. And she points out this perfectly folded red pocket square in the breast pocket, and she's like, and even the little buttons on the sleeves, and then on the shirt, they're all like gold buttons. And so, do you like it?
Morgana, this is exquisite. It's absolutely phenomenal.
She kind of waves her hand at you, like, "Oh no, stop!" But keep going.
Honestly, I can't thank you enough. This is a wonderful service, and you went above and beyond.
Oh, that's just the kind of service that we bring here at So Buttons, and I'm so glad I could just fulfill all your dreams and more. We have a changing room if you want to change into it.
If I may.
Oh, huh? So she like
Excellent.
motions this curtained room that's off to the side, and she goes and like awkwardly posts up at the counter, and yeah, it fits perfectly. Oh,
Wonderful.
oh
That's an opportunity
boy.
to just take this off for now, though. But yeah.
And so yes, you know, do you wear a tie? Do you wear a cravat? Do you wear a bolero?
It's
What is
absolutely a bolero. Yep.
spectacular? And so as you are now freshly suited up in a both literal and figurative fashion, you can make off to the secret entrance that Boris had so kindly pointed out to you.
Gonna plunge my hand. That was fourth column, third row, right into a dusty hole.
And you feel a button that you can depress, and as you do so, you hear the familiar sliding open of this brick wall panel that opens up, and a set of stone stairs are revealed before you. It is pitch black down here. There is certainly not the courtesy of light, but your dark vision suits you. And as you step forward down here, you see that there is a room directly in front of you, and you see that there is a hallway to the left and to the right.
Well,
Boris is not kind enough to give you directions onto which room.
this is one of Boris's jokes, of course.
Classic Boris.
Oh, Boris. We're going to start with the room right in front of us. I think that's the easiest way to go about this. But a quick.
It's just this open, sort of
Oh,
rough-hewn, carved archway, and it leads you into this very kind of cave-like chamber that is coated entirely with this thick green moss, and is delicately lighted by small clumps of these bioluminescent mushrooms. And you see that there is actually very kind of cute pond just off to one side of this little chamber with the stone bench seated right next to it. It seems like a almost kind of a romantic setting in this small little cozy cavern.
excellent. That's a mental note. But we're not going to try our chances here if there's no one else in this room.
Yeah, there's no one else. There's no other ways that lead off from here. It's, cozy.
I do like this. It's almost otherworldly. But turn right back around, and we're going to head towards the left, which is now my right.
Yes, and so as you lead down here, you are greeted by a very simple wooden door, which is, as you can kind of jiggle the plain handle, and it is not locked.
I'll still knock though, of course. May I come in?
No sound greets you from the other side.
Oh. Well, At that point, we're just going to open up the door anyway.
And as you open the door, you see it's a large sort of storage room where you see the relics of Hellbron's sort of long forgotten revelrous past are kept here. It's a lot of different portions of huge carriages that have been dismantled and stored here. You see sort of old half portions of fountains, numerous of the horses from like a carousel, you think, that are being stored here. And you see on the other side of the room is another door. As you're taking a kind of like a cursory glance around, the most striking thing that you see that strikes you as odd is that there is a set of tracks as if something large with a round base has been dragged out of this room through the other door on the other side of the room.
Don't like that. Yeah, we are going right towards those doors.
Yeah, and as you lead through this one, this one is also unlocked, and it leads into a narrow stone hallway, which leads to a door directly on the other side. Would you like to try it?
Absolutely. That's another sort of quick knock, though, of course.
As you give a quick knock, you don't hear anything yet, and as you kind of give the handle a quick check, and it's locked.
Don't like that. Well, at that point, I believe it's only customary to turn around and go down our last ditch effort. Although, don't like what's going on in this corner. I like the center room a lot more.
Do you want to take a look around for anything of note here, or do you just pass through?
I'd say that it'd probably be pertinent to do a quick investigation.
Yeah, go ahead and roll that for me.
Wonderful. That would be a 11.
So take a look around. So the thing that you kind of get stuck on are these huge tracks leading out of this room through the doorways you just came in through that you can see continue. You see the kind of like scrape in the stone where whatever was dragged out of here clearly went through that locked doorway.
Of course.
And that's the only major thing that you notice without like piling through, plunging through giant piles of all these like long forgotten carousel horses and everything. You're just like, don't notice anything else.
Mm-hmm. Not bad.
Yep, we're making your way off to the other way.
Mm-hmm.
And then so as you pass by the lovely little mossy mushroom cave back down this long hallway, the thing that you notice about these like long hallways is they are all lined with these minecart tracks that, despite being potentially millennia old, they have been very purposefully maintained. And as you make your way towards the end of this hallway, you see that the track curves and makes a sharp right turn, but appears to be caved in as if like, huge pile of like boulders and everything are blocking your way.
Wait, and the tracks go into that sort of
Yeah, it appears like the boulders have been like piled up on top as if there's been some sort of cave-in.
That doesn't seem right. Yeah, I'd like to look around in this direction a little bit. Maybe there is some sort of way through, perhaps.
Yeah, make an investigation.
Yes. Oh, much better. That is a 14.
So as you go through to try and start to like pick through the rubble to find a path through, you notice it is immediately an illusion as your hand just passes through these boulders.
Very funny, Boris.
Constant prankster.
Oh my goodness. Straighten up my clothing. Make sure I'm all nice and ready for some revelry as I proceed to walk through the boulders.
You do so. And like, you know, you have one of those moments where your mind is like, I know this is okay. And as you pass through this illusion and you can look back and you see that it is present from the other side as well. Rank subterranean air just immediately greets your nostrils, and it's just suffused of ancient rot. And you see that this long, large room is lined on the two long sides of this room. You see that is lined with 16 wooden caskets that have been fitted into bunk bed alcoves, as I can best describe them.
Okay, no, I'm with you.
Yeah, you know, one's on the top bunk, one's on the bottom bunk, and there are 16 of these. And you see that there is another path on the other side, out of this sort of catacomb here. And yes, you see many noble names are inscribed on these caskets.
There's no noises coming from any of the caskets, are there?
No? Dead air, one might say.
Wonderful. You know, just a passive sort of brushing the clawed hand across one of the nameplates as he continues walking down the hall.
And as you sort of drag your nails along one of these caskets, suddenly a gray hand with yellow nails lashes out and grabs your hand. And I think that's where we're gonna cut it this evening.
Well, I'm here. How's it going?
Oh boy, I hope you had fun, and I hope everyone
this
here
is
in our
wonderful.
audience has had fun. And you know what? I think it's time to pull our winner of our giveaway.
Yeah!
Heck yes. Alright, let's close this bad boy. Draw. And Mr. Peter. Type ! Claim in the chat to claim your wonderful prize. If you are still here, you must let us know.
Congratulations, Mr. Peter. I'll be waiting here for you to collect your prize.
Fabulous. Send us your shipping address on either here on Twitch or on at Venture Maidens on Twitter, and we will get you